Hello, my name is Sadi. I'm your host for this episode of the College Career Readiness podcast. Today we are joined by our special guest, Reina Villongco. She's an Inderkum alumni, currently attending Sacramento State. Before we start our interview, remember to take control of your future, join the California Army National Guard, and serve your community during local and state emergencies. You'll learn marketable skills, earn a paycheck, and get money for school. Contact Surgeon Aquino today at 916-233-7615. So, Reina, tell us a little about your background and where you are now.
What do you mean about my background?
Like, what school you went to, like what type of your interests are and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. A little about my background. I attended Inderkum High School. I graduated earlier this year in 2019. Here at Inderkum, I did a whole bunch of stuff. Like I did cheer. I was the chief of staff my senior year of CCR. I also did a whole bunch of stuff like leadership and AP classes. Now I go to Sac State. I am in a sorority. I am in Sigma Omicron Pi,
Okay.
Asian American sorority. I like doing makeup. I enjoy the beauty industry, and I am an eyelash technician. So basically, I do lash extensions.
Okay.
I like music. And I like dancing.
That's what's up. All right. So you talked about being a chief of staff at CCR. So like, what specifically did you do in CCR?
Okay, so in CCR, so you know how there's a whole bunch of different aspects of CCR, like the technology part.
Mm-hmm.
I was not really involved with the technology. In fact, I was more of a manager in that I made sure that everybody got what they had to do done at the timelines. So I would set dates and goals for CCR and basically guide the vision for the year or the semester. In my year of being chief of staff, we added in the vocational outreach. That was one of our big programs, as well as doing visits to places like the SF Stadium.
All right. That's also what's up. So how do you feel CCR has impacted you in and out of school?
In school, it gave me a really big legacy, I feel like. I like to give back to where I came from, and I feel like I like to come back to Inderkum sometimes to just to see you guys. Like I like seeing your guys' progress, and I think that being a part of something that big is super cool because I was in team 2 and team 3, so the first teams after the founders, and just seeing how it's been growing over the years and being able to put in my vision for causes that I believe in. I think that's really important and empowering. Outside of school, it's really given me like connections, like Mr. Pugh and all of you guys have like gotten like really good connections, and also the people that I've interviewed in the past. Some of them have even reached out to me for like, I don't know, job opportunities, internships. Also out of school, just I think confidence, a lot of confidence in that I can speak on a mic now. Before CCR, I would not be able to speak on a mic. Kind of being more sure of myself and my ideas and where I'm going. So personality-wise, it's definitely changed me.
That's what's up. So is there any advice you'd give to students about like high school and like in the transition to college?
Mm. High school to college is a very big transition. It's different. If you move away from home, you're learning how to live on your own. I personally stayed local since I'm going to Sac State. I'm living at home. And even then, it is a really big transition. You might underestimate the transition because it's like, I'm going to be at home anyways. Like, it might not be too different, but it really is. College itself, like, the classes are different. The way that professors interact with students is also very different. You have to put more effort out there to reach out than in high school. So I think talking to a high school student, take advantage of the fact that your staff is really on your back about things, and learn how to speak to the adults that are around you. That way, once you move out of the high school bubble, I'd say, you're a lot more comfortable with that.
Okay. So like personally, what kind of obstacles have you faced getting into college
Getting into college.
or just like at college?
Oh, sorry, at college. I think socially, you have to really get out of your comfort zone and get out of the high school mentality of like, oh, there's a top. I don't know if I do this, I'll be popular. Like there's no, I feel like there's like once you get to college, it's a level playing field. everybody is equal and you're gonna leverage your gifts the way that you do. And sometimes like I may be like how in CCR, I was not good at technology, but other people were, but we were able to work together. And I think you really learn that in college, that everybody has their own gifts and it's the way that they use them that gets them to that level of success.
Okay. What other schools did you get into, and why did you choose Sac State?
Okay, I got into University of Nevada, Las Vegas, which actually I really wanted to go there. I got into Cal Baptist University, which is a private school in Riverside, and then I also got into San Jose State University, and then SAC. I decided to go to SAC because of the financial circumstances. Um, One of my big goals in college was to not incur too many student loans. Um, Also, before this semester, actually, I just changed my major, but before this semester, I was going into it with the mindset of I'm doing express interest nursing. And the way that that major works, you do 2 years of prerequisites and then you apply to the nursing program. And I chose Sac State because it was the most cost effective with the direction I was going. So I went into Sac State thinking that I was only spending 2 years there, and then I was gonna go out into whatever nursing program accepted me. Since then, I have actually decided to change my major to express interest business because I just felt like my interest lied otherwise. But that's primarily why I chose Sac State. Also, the fact that it's closer to home, and also I'm like really close with my family, and I was okay with staying local.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You talked about your major. So like what, like did you participate in high school to make you want to choose, like it helped you choose your major?
CCR. Um, Also leadership, doing all of the event planning in leadership, and then in cheer, how I was like one of the captains, and we did a lot of like leadership work. My major now is express interest in business with a concentration in human resources management and organizational behavior. And that's not the clearest like explanation of the major, but what I do know is that the roles that I've researched are very similar to what I did here in CCR, and I personally really, really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed making those connections, talking to people, presenting, and I feel like I could use my talents in this area in a different way than I would have in nursing.
Okay, and then there's some talk about how you got like your own like makeup business and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yes, so I do eyelash extensions. I started the little business, I guess you could say, in June of this year. What really inspired me to do that and make such a big step was, I think, just my passion for beauty, and I also wanted like a steady income, but to be able to make my own hours, because I have this like really good talent of booking myself up with activities, which make it hard for me to go to a job in which they like schedule me out, because then it's like, no, I have family commitments, I have to go to school. So I felt like I was like a really frustrating employee, like to work with scheduling. So I knew from my first job, I think, that I wanted to do something in which I can make my own schedule. So that's really like why I decided to open the business for myself. Why I chose eyelash extensions is just because I love them. Yeah, and I enjoy having clients and working. I like working alone. I like working in teams also, but working alone's cool because I get to manage like how I want to do things. I'm a little bit of a control freak.
I mean, that's good. That's good. Yeah, you're really your own boss and all that. That's like that shows really thing. And then also so can you like shed a little more about Sac State? Can you like describe the community of the campus?
Yes, what I really like about Sac State is how diverse it is. Similar to Inderkum, there's a lot of diversity at Sac State, which I enjoy. That's one of the biggest things that I was looking for in a college, which is why I wanted to go to Vegas, because it's very, very, very diverse out there too. At Sac State, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. I guess like let's just sell the school a little. There's a whole bunch of like clubs, sports. There's football, and this year we actually did pretty good. Basketball, Greek life's pretty cool. I just think that there's a lot of opportunity at Sac State that you can get opportunity anywhere that you go if you make it for yourself. But here in Sac, it's kind of like such a, I guess you could say it's like a melting pot of a whole bunch of different things, like a whole bunch of different interests. I feel like Sac is not known for just one thing, which is cool when you are when you're trying to be a well-rounded person or you're trying to make yourself into one, because it's the perfect like environment to like foster that interest.
Okay, yeah. And then like you talked about like this community and like how do you feel about the community every day? And then has this affected your first semester in any way?
The community is a very supportive one. I think that every area that you go to has its own personality.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you go to LA, it's known as a little bit faster. If you go to New York, it's a little more fashion interest. I think that the community of Sacramento is a very like while it does have its city qualities, it also has its small city qualities. Which is cool because I like to be home with my family, but I also like to go out too, and I like to study, but at the same time I like to go to social things, and I think that the pace here is slow enough to be able to do that. I'm a commuter, like I said, for the fact that I live in Atomis, and Sac State is about 20 minutes away. The experience that I've had with commuting, it's not too bad. So it's not too bad. It's just traffic, but you're gonna get that anywhere you go, especially if you go towards like the Bay or towards LA. So I think Sac, the traffic here and the commuting experience is not as bad as it could be. It's affected my first semester pretty heavily actually, because the drive, like my drive every day, could like probably amount to about an hour and a half to 2 hours, which is like, okay, you could use that to study, but I'm using that driving. So yeah, I do think that it's affected me in certain ways. Also, it's like the more you drive, the more chance of an accident. And so you just gotta, as a commuter, you just gotta be careful and just like make sure that you are taking the steps to save your money on gas, or if you can carpool, stuff like that.
Okay, and then so you talk about like living in Thomas. What made you like kind of go out the traditional like stay on campus the first year?
The fact that I already live in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I were to move away, then I obviously would have moved into the dorms. But staying in Sac, I felt like it was just more cost effective to stay at home. I personally didn't get like financial aid from FAFSA and stuff for my first semester, so which is why I didn't want to incur too many student loans. So to be able to pay for my school out of pocket or with like the scholarship money that I did get, I would have to stay at home.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm totally okay with that.
Oh, yeah. So like as we wrap this, what would you say? Would you give 3 lessons to high school students right now who's trying to pick colleges?
Okay. 3 lessons. The first one is do not let what other people say or don't let anybody else's college decision affect yours, because ultimately where you end up is where you were supposed to go. So everybody has their own plan for college. Another lesson, when you decide on what college you choose, be confident in that and don't let anybody like make you feel like you made the wrong decision. And 3, I think just know your why or what you're looking for in a college. If you're going for like a big name college, know why you want to go there. If it's a specific program that you're looking for, then just stay centered in that and just remember, like, once you get to college, you're gonna like go through a whole bunch of stuff and transitional like struggles. So it's just like remember why you're there.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Reina.
Thanks for having me.